survey, students in a large statistics class were asked whether or not they ate breakfast that morning. The data appears in the following table. Does it appear breakfast is independent of the student's sex? State an appropriate hypothesis. Give statistical evidence to support your conclusion. So, here we go. First thing is our hypotheses. Again, this one we're going to write as statements. So, HO, eating breakfast and student sex are independent, and our HA is going to be eating breakfast and student sex are not independent. Okay? So, once we have our hypotheses, we then check our assumptions and conditions. So here we have counted data, randomization, and expected cell frequency. Now with this one, I'm going to show you how to go through the calculator. So first, start on the main screen, then open up a calculator. You're going to go to your menu, and then matrix, and you're going to create a matrix. Okay. Now, you're going to be asked how many rows and how many columns. In this case, we're going to do a 2 by 2 because that's where the values are. I don't really need to account for the totals. And that's what it's going to look like on your screen. And then you just go ahead and fill those in with the values from our contingency table. In this case, we had 66 and 66, 125 and 74. Now, I'm going to store this into my calculator. And on the calculator, you're going to see a little STO with an arrow. You would have to press Shift and then click that and then assign it a letter. In this case, I assigned it A. Now I'm going to go back to my menu, and then I'm going to go to Statistics. I'm going to go to my Stat Tests, and I'm going to do the chi-squared two-way test for this one. That's the test I use for independence test. I'm then going to put in the letter of the matrix that I have, and it gives me my results. So here's the chi-square value of 5.3391. Here's the p-value. Here's the degrees of freedom. You're going to need this. But first I have to check my condition of expected values. So what I do next is here, I'm going to type in STAT dot. And when I press the dot, what happens is I get a menu, and I want to select EXP matrix. That's my expected value matrix. When I press enter, that's my expected value matrix. And because they're all greater than 5, it has checked out with that condition. So that means they're met, and I can perform a chi-square test of independence. Degrees of freedom. This is how you calculate the degrees of freedom. You take the number of columns, which we had 2, and the number of rows, which there were 2. You subtract 1 from each and then multiply. Notice on the calculator it told us degrees of freedom of 1, and here we confirm that. I then go and pick the information I need. I need my chi-squared and my p-value, and I'm going to write using correct notation. So p chi-squared is greater than 5.339 is approximately equal to 0.0209. I'm always going to use a greater than sign whenever I do my chi tests. I can now come up to my conclusion. Using a level of significance of alpha equals 0.05, we reject HO. Therefore, there is enough evidence to say that eating breakfast and student sex are not independent. It appears, in this case, that females are more likely to eat breakfast. And now that we have our conclusion, we're done. So if you have any questions, please be sure to ask.